What is up, guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts, and this is the UFC 255 full card post weigh-in predictions and betting odds. We're going to recap the weigh-ins, have the images up here. Let's get into the first fight of the night. Sasha Palichnikoff versus Luis Kosei. Both men came in shape. Both men made weight. Thankfully, no issues there. We did see a bit of issues later on. We'll talk about that, but not with these two fighters. We do have a height advantage for Palichnikoff, but I don't think it will be enough. The same thing that I said in the full card prediction video. I think that Kosei is going to be way too much for him. Dangerous with his hands, solid wrestling. I think he's probably going to go out there and get Palichnikoff done early. All Kosei's wins are in the first round. I believe this will be another first round victim to Luis Kosei's attack. Now, as far as the betting odds do go, in this matchup here, minus 475 for Kosei, plus 420 for Palichnikoff. Nothing has changed. I recommend betting Kosei if you are looking to bet this fight, but not the most appealing odds. Minus 475. Pretty widespread, and you do have to put a fair amount of money down. Probably would be better off parlaying, which I will talk about some parlay ideas towards the end of the video. Now, next fight of the night, Dustin Stoltzfus. He takes on Kyle Daukaus. Honestly, I am pumped for this fight. I like Stoltzfus. I like Daukaus. Both guys very skilled. I really like the striking of Stoltzfus, the grappling of Daukaus. I think the grappler is going to be superior here. I think he's probably going to get some dominant position and work over Dustin Stoltzfus here. I could probably see this fight going the distance, but we could see a submission win for Kyle Daukaus. But I do think Stoltzfus will have the defense for him. Now, betting odds on this matchup, again, fairly widespread, but they have come a little closer than earlier this week. Daukaus minus 295, Stoltzfus plus 265. I like the Daukaus pick in this fight here, and I do think he gets it done. Now, next fight of the night, Jared Gooden, who looks pretty jacked on the scale, and Alan Jouban looks absolutely shredded. Both men, excellent shape. Seeing how Jouban looks on the scale, it does give me a bit more confidence because he is an older fighter. I was curious if we'd see some muscle deterioration. We have not. I think Jouban is still a fairly high-level fighter. I mean, granted, not high-level as in top 10, maybe even not even top 15, really, but top 25. This guy's one of the best welterweights, in the top 25 of the UFC, definitely. He really can strike beautifully, very technical. Jared Gooden, though, I mean, he's new to the UFC. He's coming in with some hype, but I think this is Jouban's fight. The betting odds, they agree as well. They have Jouban, though slight favorite, not too crazy. The odds have come closer. Minus 140 for Alan Jouban, plus 130 for Jared Gooden. Does Gooden have a chance for an upset? Yes. Is it a super significant chance? Does his style stand out to me as a style that could easily beat Jouban? No, I do not believe so. I think Jouban, even grappling, may have a slight advantage over Jared Gooden, besides just the striking matchup. Next fight of the night, Nicholas Dalby takes on Daniel Rodriguez. I really like Daniel Rodriguez. I've been impressed by his knockout power. Dalby, been around for a while. Didn't look great against Jesse Ronson in his last fight. I don't think this is a good matchup for him here. Daniel Rodriguez, as long as he can stay on the feet, he will do a lot of damage with his pressure boxing style. This is Rodriguez's fight. Both fighters obviously made weight. Both fighters looked good. Daniel Rodriguez coming in shape, coming ready. He gets a stoppage victory, I believe, within 2 rounds here over Nicholas Dalby. Now, betting odds in this matchup, Rodriguez minus 320 favorite, Dalby plus 290. They've been very similar to that all week long. I got Rodriguez in this one. Now, Ariane Lipski takes on Antonina Shevchenko. This fight is very exciting. So, some factors here I want to bring up. Both make weight, no issues, but some factors, though, stylistically, I think Lipski on the feet has the power advantage. But Antonina Shevchenko is a very technical Muay Thai fighter. She has professional Muay Thai experience. I believe only one loss in professional Muay Thai competition. If I'm Lipski, I'm really not trying to stand technical with her and make it a technical fight. She needs to make it dirty. She needs to get in close. She needs to throw massive shots, hooks. She needs to do what the Queen of Violence does, and I believe she will do so. On the ground, I give the advantage to Lipski, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. Now, granted, Shevchenko, not a bad grappler, does have a judo background. Still, this is Lipski's fight. I believe the underdog in this matchup will get the win. I think she does so probably by a decision here over the very tough Antonina Shevchenko. Odds, not crazy widespread, but we know Shevchenko has been the favorite all week, minus 150. Right now, Lipski's at a plus 140. They have not changed. Lipski is a bit shorter. Shevchenko, maybe half an inch taller. I still ride with Lipski, but this is a very competitive pick'ems fight here between both these girls. I could see a path for victory for both females. Next fight of the night, Jordan Wright, the Beverly Hills Ninja, takes on Joaquin Buckley. I'll be honest, I like Buckley right away. I think stylistically, you look, his style matches up well. Jordan Wright is a guy that needs range. Buckley gets in your face with power punches. He's very athletic. He can take a good punch. This is Joaquin Buckley's fight. I believe he's going to win by stoppage. I believe it happens within 2 rounds. I could see it in the first round. I could see it in 50 seconds. We've seen Jordan Wright lose once, even though it's not a professional loss. He did lose to Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, and I am picking Joaquin Buckley knockout in this matchup. Odds very widespread. Minus 230 favorite is Buckley over Jordan Wright at a plus 210 underdog. Exciting matchup. Very exciting. Brandon Royval versus Brandon Moreno, the featured prelim in the flyweight division. The height advantage does go to Royval, but I believe the reach is about similar between these two. Moreno, very high energy guy, will be in your face, can go the distance. Royval, very unorthodox. The way he throws different shots is things that most fighters don't expect. I'm riding in this matchup with a very gritty decision for Moreno, but not a fight I'm saying, hey, go bet on Moreno. I think maybe a bet for Brandon Royval potentially could win you because we have seen him as the dog before pull off the upset. I'm very impressed by both these guys. I think they're both very high level. I see a path to victory for both men. It's who puts their game plan into action first. I think for Royval, it's going to be staying more at range, landing on orthodox strikes, getting it to the mat maybe. But I will say Moreno on top is heavy, good wrestling skill, and very aggressive. I think it's going to be close, and I think it goes the distance. I'm riding Moreno, but it could go either way. This is a real toss-up between these two, and the odds have it at a minus 175 for Moreno and a plus 165 for Royval here. Now, first fight on the main card, Paul Craig rematches Shogun Hua. I am super excited for this fight. I think that Paul Craig gets it done. And this is simply because if you look at the first fight, he really had Shogun hurt. That was a little bit of time ago now. Paul Craig has constantly improved. Shogun, who has struggled against a 40-something-year-old Rogerio Nogueira. I don't think Shogun is going to be able to beat the younger Paul Craig here. I think Craig gets a stoppage in this fight. I think he probably does it within 2 rounds. I could see it in the first round. This is the Paul Craig fight right here. I am riding with Paul Craig. He's not a very strong favorite, but he is a favorite at a minus 160 to Shogun, who had a plus 150. I like Craig to win this one at the minus 160. I'd consider doing a bet on that one personally. I really like that pick. I think Craig is a strong pick here. Cynthia Calvillo takes on Katlyn Chookagian. Good matchup here. Both skilled everywhere, but especially on the ground. But I think the wrestling of Calvillo will be a bit too much for Chookagian. The size, a little bit taller, but nothing substantial. I don't think it will be enough that it would be a problem for Cynthia Calvillo. I think she's going to get Chookagian to the mat, grind out a competitive decision, maybe even a 29-28. I don't know if this fight's going to be absolute fight of the night fireworks, but we're going to see a win for Cynthia Calvillo in this matchup. Who betting odds, minus 245 favorite. Katlyn Chookagian, a plus 225 underdog here. Should be very fun. I'm excited for it. Now, this fight, Tim Means, he made weight. I want to pull up the exact weights for these two. Tim Means, on weight, coming, ready to fight. Mike Perry does not make weight. He comes in at 175 and a half. Doesn't necessarily look out of shape. I mean, he's still fit, I will say. I believe he's not as ripped as we've seen him in the past. I believe there's a couple more pounds of fat around the midsection than we've seen previously for Mike Perry, who usually is looking pretty jacked when he comes in there. He still looks fit. He still looks in shape, but not prime fight shape. Do I think that's going to give him the loss here against Tim Means? I think it definitely could. I think this fight is really become a true pick'ems here. Originally, I was a lot more strongly confident in Mike Perry, but I'm worried that his training is subpar, and we know Tim Means is a game veteran that trains absolutely hard and correct here. Now, as far as the odds for this matchup, we have Mike Perry at just a minus 120 favorite to Tim Means at a plus 110. These are pick'ems odds right here. This is anybody's fight. Height advantage, Tim Means. Power advantage is going to go to Mike Perry. Grappling advantage, it's competitive, but I think the strength of Mike Perry will be able to defend against some of the grappling attacks that Tim Means will throw at him. I am riding Mike Perry by a competitive decision, possibly a late TKO. I'm riding Perry, but it's not the most confident pick. I would skip a bet on Perry unless you're really feeling confident on it. Granted, he did miss weight. Could that favor him? Maybe. I'm riding Perry. I think Perry wins. But it's not the most confident. It's not a good look. If he was Mike Perry in the best shape and he had his coaches in his corner, I think this is Mike Perry's fight all day. But right now, Mike Perry mentally may not be in the best spot. But I'm still picking him, but it's a risk. Definite risk here. Now, co-main event, Jennifer Maia takes on Valentina Shevchenko. We have 2 championship weights made, both 124 and a half. Both obviously coming in great shape. Valentina Shevchenko and Jennifer Maia look great as always. Valentina Shevchenko is one of the greatest female fighters we have ever seen. Amazing technical striking skills. Her Muay Thai is the best. Her grappling skill is extremely underrated, very dangerous on the ground. This is her fight. Jennifer Maia, a very good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist, especially off her back. Not the best striker, decent on the feet, but nowhere near Shevchenko all day. I have Valentina Shevchenko within 3 rounds by TKO in this matchup here. I don't know about a submission. I think that would be difficult to do over Jennifer Maia, but definitely a TKO for Valentina. Now, fight here, Alex Perez takes on Davison Figuedo. This is going to be a hell of a fight. The odds right now, actually, I got to give you the Valentina Shevchenko odds. They're extremely widespread, minus 1350 for Shevchenko and Maia at a plus 950, dog. I don't think Maia's worth the bet. I don't think she pulls it off. I think Shevchenko is a lock prediction here. Now, for Davison Figuedo, he's a minus 250 favorite to Alex Perez at a plus 230. The odds have come a bit closer. Risk will be for Figuedo, if the leg kicks of Alex Perez get going early and they're landing successfully. I did see Davison Figuedo eat a couple leg kicks by Joseph Benavidez. Now, I'm not saying Alex Perez is going to go out there and beat Figuedo, but there is a path to victory, and he needs to chop down at those legs. He really needs to try and avoid being in a bad position on the ground because Figuedo's jiu-jitsu is very nasty. I think Perez's wrestling is good enough. I don't think Perez has what it takes to win this fight, but I do think he has what it takes to make it competitive and give Davison Figuedo a very serious test. I believe this fight will go 3 rounds. I don't think it goes to full 5. I think we see a TKO victory or even a submission for Davison Figuedo around the 3rd. I think he's going to land some big punches. His knockout power is very serious. Alex Perez has the leg kicks, has some decent striking, but is not at the level of Figuedo. Figuedo wins, but it is a serious test. And if Alex Perez chomps down those legs, we could see a crazy upset here, but unlikely. I'm riding Figuedo. Minus 250 favorite, Alex Perez, plus 230 underdog. Should be a hell of a main event. I cannot wait to see this. Both make weight, I believe, 125 or 124 and a half for each. Let me quickly pull it up. 125 for Figuedo, 124 and a half for Perez. This is going to be a great fight. I'm riding with Figuedo. Now, I talked about parlays in a different video. Now I want to do a post-weigh-in parlay idea, potentially. I like this parlay here. We go Figuedo, Valentina Shevchenko. This is going to be a 4-fight parlay. So Figuedo, Shevchenko. We're going to definitely say no to Mike Perry. I don't think he's worth the bet at this point. I think then we have to throw on Paul Craig on this parlay. Now, I would say alternates. I think then you could do a Paul Craig and Cynthia Calvillo could be your 4th. Cynthia Calvillo is a potential lock, I would say. So I'm going Calvillo. Those are the 4 that I like. If I'm going for somebody on the undercard, I'm going to also give 2 other ideas. Personally, we'd rather skip on like a Moreno Royval fight. This fight's going to be crazy. Let me quickly find it. I like Buckley too. Buckley is another person. If you're looking for parlays, I'd add Buckley on that parlay. I think he's a near lock. I think stylistically he matches up very well with Jordan Wright. Wright is going to struggle with the pressure. Lipski, Shevchenko, if you're looking to take a risk, bet on Lipski. But honestly, very risky bet because Shevchenko is very game. Moving up, I think Daniel Rodriguez is a fairly lock pick too. I like Rodriguez if you're looking for a potential parlay. And I do also want to tell you, skip on Jouban Gooden. I really feel like Jouban's the older guy. You could get caught with something, and I think Gooden's coming to fight. Daukaus Stoltzfus, the reason I would maybe skip on Daukaus is because Stoltzfus is very legit. 13-1 as a pro. I don't know. He could have a path to victory here, but I will say a near lock pick, I feel like is probably Kosei. Palednikov, less experienced, doesn't have the same hype around him nearly as Luis Kosei. I think those are possible picks that I would say are worth placing bets on. As far as parlays, different websites will give you different odds, but you're going to have some pretty solid odds if you do a 3 or 4 fight parlay with some of the names listed. I'd say Shevchenko should be on any of your parlays. If you're going to do a 3-fight parlay, make it a 4 and add Shevchenko because the path to victory for Shevchenko is very clear, and I believe she's going to win this fight. But that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Also, guys, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and I'll see you all in the next video.